Hi, everyone. I'm Burcu Agma. I'm the Vice President of our Strategic Planning and Insights team at Performics US, and I'm super excited for our Mexico session today. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be releasing our new Intent Lab research study, which is all about uncovering consumer intent and its impact on brand relevance. I'm going to share my screen so that you can all see the content that I'm about to walk you through, and we'll go from there. All right. So first of all, you're going to be hearing the word intent a lot throughout this presentation. That's because it is very much ingrained in our brand DNA at Performics. Since early 2015, the concept of intent has been at the epicenter of everything that we do to be able to understand the human behind digital interactions. And as performance marketers, which I'm sure some of you performance marketers are watching me right now, we have a unique advantage. We're lucky, and here's why. If you think about it, in today's world, consumers are constantly signaling us their intentions through a variety of digital channels. By tapping into digital behavior, we can uncover consumer needs, expectations, and even brand perceptions. And at Performics, we strongly believe that the ability to make meaningful and relevant connections to our consumers hinges on that deep understanding of consumer intent through digital signals. That is the reason why we see digital as a behavioral insights machine, way beyond just a tool for activation. And in order to leverage digital for insights purposes, to be able to actually use it as a behavioral insights machine, we need scientific methods of research, analysis, and algorithms, which has been the core mission of my team in the last couple of years. So seeing this need in the marketplace, in early 2016, we created our proprietary research unit Intent Lab in partnership with Northwestern University. Since then, we've been doing scientific, academically credible research to really uncover intent through digital data. And we partner with key players in the industry like Microsoft. Learnings from our research unit lead to new ways of thinking and allow us to build our own algorithms and frameworks to really convert intent into revenue for our clients. So you might be thinking, okay, how is this research actually coming to life, right? So I actually want to walk you through an example of our previous research that we did with Microsoft really quickly before we dive into the new one. So last year with Microsoft, we asked in our research, can we identify exactly where consumers are in their decision journey based on the language they use in search? And how can we change the way that we advertise to truly match the mindset that they're in that particular moment? So with that in mind, Northwestern brought to the table an academic theory called psychological distance to action, which we tapped into for this particular research. Based on this research, people think more abstract when they're farther away from taking action, like buying something, and they think more concrete when they're ready to take action. So we wanted to reflect this in our research to digital behavior like search. We wanted to see if we can actually understand from the text within a search query the psychological distance of purchase, of buying, of selecting our brand, right? And we proved out through our research that indeed every keyword in a particular query actually signals us a particular level of concreteness where we can map consumers' psychological distance to making a purchase. So using the learnings from our research, we built our own proprietary tool, intent scoring algorithm, which can code search keywords and queries based on its level of concreteness, therefore automatically being able to map all the mindsets that are in the vertical related to our brand. So by doing so, right now we can code 100,000 search queries in just seconds, being able to know exactly which mindsets our consumers are in so that we can craft the proper, relevant messaging and experiences for that mindset. So this year, we wanted to take it to the next level. Again, with Microsoft, this time we are asking the question, is being relevant to what consumers ask for enough, or is that just limiting? So here's why we're going after this in this research. If you think about it, relevance as a concept, it became a buzzword because in the last couple of years, at every conference, you hear about the importance of being relevant as a brand. And the concept is usually referred to as provide your consumers what they ask for. But is that really what relevance is about? Or is that just the 101 of marketing, of what we should be doing? More importantly, can we predict what else they might need next and provide that level of assistance before they even ask for it? So to answer this question, in partnership with Northwestern and Microsoft, we went through a rigorous methodology and conducted an online experiment to examine the likelihood of consumers selecting an ad based on two things: the type of consumer mindset they're in and the type of ad result experience we provide them. It looks like this. We analyzed consumers who are in two different mindsets. Those who are in an item mindset, so that's when someone has a very specific product or service in mind that they're specifically looking for, right? As well as consumers who are in a goal mindset, where they have a larger goal in mind that can include a variety of products and services. And for these two distinct mindsets, we provide both limited ad results, which is the typical experience they know, where they get ads about a specific product, versus expanded ad results, where we brought in something new to the mix by adding an ad that is differentiated from the rest, that is about an associated item to the goal that they didn't specifically ask for yet. We won't be able to get into all of the details of the research, which I kind of wish I had the time for, but we will share with you some of the key learnings under three categories: understanding the unseen spectrum of the way we think, overlooked impact of goal-driven consumers in our industry, and last but not least, ad relevance gone wrong by over-limiting. So let's begin. To better understand the unseen spectrum of the way we think, let's put our consumer hats on for a second. Imagine you have the goal to build muscle. What comes to mind? You might be thinking of fitness classes, maybe looking for online class options because you don't want to go to the gym, maybe thinking of buying dumbbells so you can work out at home, right? Protein shakes and recipes that are healthy for you, or maybe you'll try out yoga, so you're thinking of getting a yoga mat. All of these things might be going through your head. From everything that comes to mind related to that goal, you can select one of them to focus on and search for that in particular moment as protein powder, for example. That action triggers us marketers to pick up on that signal and be like, yep, our target audience is looking for protein powder. They have likelihood to buy it, so let's give them what they need, which should be the case, right? And yet, that's just a small portion of what's going on in our consumers' world in that mindset. The reality is that every goal comes with a bundle of different things that we continue to think of, whether you search or look for it at the same time or doesn't. It doesn't change the fact that you still have that in mind, that those products and services are still associated to each other and to that overarching goal. So think of your own digital steps. When you have a goal in mind, like getting fit, wanting to build muscle, right? Your screen can pretty much look like this as a digital experience. You might have started your search by looking into protein powders, but you might also be checking online yoga classes at the same time while looking for dumbbells on Amazon, while looking for healthy eating accounts on social media platforms, right? So when all of these things are going through your head as a consumer, as a marketer, we're usually only focused on that one specific signal of an item. Did they look for a protein powder? Did they look for a dumbbell? And that's it. So due to that, in the current state of advertising, most of the time, consumers only get relevant ads when they're in an item mindset, when they're looking for that specific item. So with a broader goal in mind, when they're potentially thinking of multiple products and services, can we really say we predicted our consumers' intent? That's what we wanted to go after in this research. So now that we talked about the larger spectrum of the way we think, let's dive into the overlooked impact of goal-driven consumers. You might be thinking right now, what if I just catch consumers when they already signal that specific item? Why would it matter to really identify that goal mindset when I can just wait for them to focus down to one item? Here's what you can miss out. First of all, we're not talking about a small portion of your audience. We're talking about more than 50% of potential consumers, which I'll get to in a second in terms of its details. Not only that, but we're also talking about missing out on new consumers to your vertical who have higher likelihood to be in a goal mindset. Let's look into how we observed this through our research. So when we looked across 3 categories in our research, in 2 of them, makeup and fitness, consumers who are goal searchers, rather than looking for that specific item, were more than 50% of all searches in the category. It might not always be the case in every vertical, right? But even in travel, when we looked into it, even though we see slightly less percentage of goal-driven consumers, we're still talking about 43% of them who are in a goal mindset. That's pretty significant that you wouldn't want to just avoid or miss out on. Not only that, but in addition to the potential size of goal-driven audience, a key learning from our research was about potentially missing out on new consumers. So let's think about it. Consumers who are repeat purchasers in a category, right, tend to think and search based on an item. Like buying the same foundation every 6 months because you know it works best for you. So you just look for that same specific foundation, right? It's pretty hard to switch consumers who are already repeat purchasers of a competitor. They know what they like, they go back to it every 6 months. Now, for consumers who are newer to the category or to the product, they tend to think with a broader goal in mind. For example, exploring new colors and textures of makeup that can better fit your skin tone. So you can look for best makeup look for dark skin, which can include foundations, BB creams, powders, right? Anything and everything that can help you achieve that overarching goal. And you would be more likely to try them out. And based on our research, there's 26.7% higher chance to find a new consumer to the vertical or your brand if you target the goal mindset. Now, going back to our earlier question, if you were thinking, why can't I just wait until someone's clearly looking for that specific item? Well, consumers in a goal-driven mindset has multiple products and services in mind and more likely to try a new brand. So if you're relevant to them, you can attract them not only for one thing, but for a bundle of things that you carry, right? That's 1. 2, not only that, but also from a competitive perspective, if one of your competitors is serving the right messaging and experience to goal-driven consumers, they can create that relationship earlier, and that's definitely something you wouldn't want to miss out on. Last but not least, knowing that consumers don't think in a linear way and they can jump back and forth between different mindsets, you can also miss out on someone who might have been looking for an item and now they went back to thinking of a broader goal, right? Someone else might be ready for them and relevant for them. So as marketers, we can't continue to overlook the impact of goal-driven consumers. Now knowing the importance of uncovering different mindsets and being relevant to them, can we say we're truly relevant to them all or just limiting? So in the current state of advertising, no matter if your consumer is in a goal or item mindset, consumers get limited ad results that tend to be about the same item or service. You ask for a protein powder, you'll get all 4 ads related to a protein powder. You ask to learn yoga as your goal, and you'll get 4 ads of online yoga courses. Now again, not that this is wrong, but it is the 101 of marketing. Give consumers what they ask for, right? Obviously. But as innovative marketers, is that all we can do? The reality is, it's not enough for our consumers. Even for those who are asking for that specific item in the item-driven mindset, 39% of them continue searching without clicking any of the ads because they didn't find what was provided useful to them. Now, on the flip side, the story gets even more dramatic when we look into goal-driven consumers. 54% of goal-driven consumers continue to search without clicking any of the ads because they can't find what they're looking for. Here's what this means. More than half of the time, when a consumer is in a goal mindset, they don't find what we provide as marketers useful or helpful. And as mentioned before, newer consumers to the vertical or your brand have higher likelihood to be in a goal mindset. So when we checked the level of satisfaction between new to average to expert of consumers, we saw that newer consumers have even lower level of satisfaction when they are presented with limited ad results. You might be thinking right now, okay, so what is the other option to satisfy our consumers, especially those who are goal-driven, right, to be relevant to them? That's what we wanted to test in our research, a new option where we provide expanded ad results. So in our test, we had 3 ads specific to an item and 1 ad that has an associated item, which brought in a new variety for them into the ad mix. So this new ad can be from any product or service that is related to the same overarching goal, yet they have not directly looked for it yet. So when we provided the expanded ad results in our research, we found that consumer perception of usefulness of ads increases by 10%. Well, here's the twist. That's not only for goal-driven consumers, but for both of them, which is really interesting. And specifically for new consumers who are open and willing to try new products and services, they are 1.9 times as likely to click on that new differentiated ad and 3.8 times as likely compared to experts who are usually repeat purchasers. So this would be someone new, going back to our example, looking for that new makeup look, and you provide them messaging that is not for one item, but either for an associated item or a bundle of items, and they will be drastically more likely to prefer your ad. So how can you bring these findings to life to make your digital brand messaging and experience not only relevant to item mindset, but also for goal-driven potential new consumers? When your consumers are in an item mindset, let's start there, right? Continue to give them exactly what they need. If they're looking for a yoga mat, of course, we need to give them messaging and experiences that is about a yoga mat. But you can still find ways to embed associated products and services in your social and website experience. So you can still find ways of highlighting not only the yoga mat, but also the yoga pants, for example, that you might be carrying on your website, but just making sure that they're coming together related to the goal. For consumers in a goal-driven mindset, this is where it gets interesting. This is where we can test a variety of options. Once you map the right products and services related to that goal, you can test associated product ads on their own, or you can test bundles of products that would work best together. So you're not waiting for them anymore to signal that item, you're already predicting what else they might have in mind and assisting them being purposeful to them earlier on. Like crafting ads and experiences, which can focus on that goal and all the products that would help them achieve that goal in the best way possible. So to bring this to life for our clients, we leverage our proprietary strategic approach, intent-based marketing, which includes a variety of tools and frameworks under its umbrella to better understand our consumers. Through intent-based marketing, we uncover and connect signals of intent in order to drive product, media, content, and creative that is aligned with consumer intent, therefore creating relevance and increasing brand performance. So with this new research, we added new tools to our intent-based marketing portfolio, such as Co-Search Analyzer and Consumer Association tool, to map the right set of products and services to highlight and test for the goal-driven mindset. Here's how we put these learnings to life at Performics for our clients. To give you a quick summary of it. First, we identify key consumer mindsets in a category, which we do through our intent scoring algorithm, the one that I referred to earlier on in the presentation, that can code digital signals based on consumers' psychological distance to action. Then we map consumer associated products and services to key goals and brands. This is where we identify which products are associated to different goals through Co-Search Analyzer and Consumer Association tool. By analyzing layers of digital signals, we map consumers' likelihood to think of a product related to a goal, as well as the product's proximity of association related to the brand. By doing so, we can craft a strategic canvas of best opportunities to go after. Last, but definitely not least, we test and iterate based on performance. This is key, right? This is a point where we leverage our intent ad analyzer to check our client's current messaging to see where we're at with relevance currently. And on top of that, we also leverage mindset-based ad tests, so crafting new tests to actually improve that relevance. So to wrap up this session, if you want to be truly relevant to your consumers, especially in times like this, where they need brand assistance, maybe more than ever, you need to leverage the unique advantage of digital as a behavioral insights machine to better understand consumer intent and to provide relevant messaging and experiences across all mindsets. If you're interested in this approach, want to learn more about finding clues of intent, you can directly reach me through my email, and I would be more than happy to connect. You can also check out the full Intent Lab study on our Performics website. Thank you for listening to our session.